Let's talk about love bombing and why it is such an effective manipulation tactic by toxic and narcissistic people in relationships. Love bombing is when you get showered with affection, attention, admiration, all of the good stuff in the very early stages of the relationship, usually before the person actually gets to know you. And the reason why manipulative people use love bombing is to get you to fall for them as quickly as possible, to get you to trust them as quickly as possible, and to depend on them, right? Because they want to capitalize off of their relationship with you, and they want to control you as quickly as possible. And how do they do that? By giving you all of the things that you want to hear and that you want in a relationship. That's why when you're being love bombed, it feels so overwhelming. It feels like it's this whirlwind romance, like this is the person you've always been looking for and this is the love of your life, and it just feels almost too good to be true, right? Like something out of a Hollywood movie or a Disney film. And it's because it is too good to be true. When you're being love bombed, you're going to hear things that make you feel so special. Like, I've never felt like this before, and you're just an incredible person. I can't believe that I met somebody like you, and you're everything that I've ever been looking for. And just all of these things that make you feel really special and really good. Gives you a dopamine hit, gets you hooked, right? Chemically. You get hooked to the relationship. You get hooked to the love bomber. Love bombing often occurs before the person even gets to truly know who you are. They haven't really gotten to know the depths of your soul yet, right? You haven't really bonded, right? You haven't done enough stuff to connect with the person, because what does connection require? It requires time. Bonding requires a long period of getting to know someone, doing things with them, getting deep, getting vulnerable, right? That takes time to do. It's not something that happens overnight. But a toxic person doesn't have time for all that real, true connection stuff. So they opt for the quick route to getting their needs met. How do they get their needs met as quickly as possible? Well, that's by manipulating you, by love bombing you and trying to make you feel all good and special inside with the intent of just exploiting you after the fact. And that's why if you've been in a relationship where you've been love bombed before, you will probably know this, that the devaluation phase comes very shortly thereafter. When you're being love bombed in the beginning, that is them kind of priming you, right? They're getting you hooked to the relationship. They're getting you hooked to them. They're giving you something that you really want and you find valuable, which is that feeling of being cherished and honored and understood and seen and heard. They're giving that to you with the love bombing. So then when the devaluation phase comes, which it always does, and they start treating you badly, they start demeaning you, they start undermining you, as someone who's now hooked to this relationship, you start thinking, man, what can I do to get back to that love bombing phase? What can I do to get back to that version of this person that I once knew in the beginning? And that's where the toxic relationship cycle starts. That's where the trauma bond starts, in the love bombing phase. Because you're being given something that is not reality. When I say not reality, I don't mean that you don't deserve love or you don't deserve to have affection and all that stuff. Not at all. But the reality is, someone who doesn't know you yet, it's the first few weeks of getting to know somebody, cannot have those feelings. The trajectory of a relationship and getting to really have true feelings for somebody takes time, like I said before. So if it's happening in the first few weeks and it feels like you're in a Hollywood film, chances are it is too good to be true, because that's not based in truth. It's not based in rationality. There's something fishy, right? There's something fishy going on. And that fishy thing is that the person who's love bombing you, who's taking you on this whirlwind romance, is trying to get you hooked as quickly as possible. That is really the main reason why anyone uses love bombing. They also do see that you have a lot of great things. Obviously, they want to be with you. They want to capitalize off of you as quickly as possible. They want to use all the great things that you have to offer to their benefit, right? That's why they don't really care about truly connecting with anybody or truly getting to know you before they start with all the love bombing stuff, right? They want to do it as quickly as possible because they see something in you that they like, that they want, and they want to capitalize off of it. It's not about you at the end of the day. Love bombing is about the toxic, narcissistic person. It's all about them getting their needs met. It's not based in true love or true care or true admiration. It's based in exploitation and manipulation and control. Now, any of us who have been through trauma in our past may be especially susceptible to love bombing, especially if we had childhood trauma where we didn't have that validation that we needed as kids. We weren't given love and unconditional love and positive regard and affection. We become really, really hungry for it. How do we become love bomb proof? It's by working on loving ourselves, fixing the trauma and the unhealed wounds that is causing us to need to depend on external sources of validation to feel worthy. You are worthy as you are, but we have received faulty programming. The faulty programming from our past, from our parents' trauma being passed down to us, is what makes us believe that we need to have external love. We need that external validation to feel like we're enough. As long as we feel like we're not worthy inside of ourselves, we will be susceptible to people that are toxic and manipulative and narcissistic because they view insecure people from a mile away. A narcissistic person's prime target is an insecure person. Is someone who has unhealed trauma, who's looking for connection, who's looking for love, who's looking for that external validation, right? They capitalize off of people like that, which is a terrible thing, right? Because anyone who is healthy would never do that, right? Someone who's healthy wouldn't want to capitalize on the pain and the hurt of somebody else, but that's what narcissistic people do. They're sharks in the water, and your insecurity is like blood to them, right? So it's so important to work on our self-esteem, on working on healing those childhood traumas or those past wounds that are currently impacting our self-esteem and how we think of ourselves and how we view ourselves. That's really one of the main factors that can protect us from being victims of narcissistic people and their manipulation tactics. If you have become trauma bonded to somebody who was love bombing you in the beginning of the relationship and now they switched it up on you, please do not blame yourself. It is not your fault. They'll give you just enough attention and interaction to make you believe that there's hope, that it could go back to how it used to be, right? But the reality is how it used to be was a fraud. They are a fraud. So if you have been trauma bonded because of a love bomb or because of a manipulative person, I understand how absolutely difficult it can be to break that bond. It is not an easy thing to do because your brain has chemical reactions when you're being love bombed, especially if you have unhealed trauma, which is what causes a trauma bond to occur to begin with. And a narcissistic toxic person has you right where they want you. When you're, bonded to them, you're trauma bonded to them, and they're breadcrumbing you and devaluing you all the time. So please, please, please do not blame yourself. If you are in this kind of situation and you want some assistance, you want some guidance, please find my website link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for allowing me to be on this healing journey with you, and I'll see you in the next one.